What's going on, guys? Papa Tez here with another CZN video, and today I kind of want to talk about my first impressions of the game, some of the things that I don't necessarily like, and a lot of the things that I do like about the game. Spoiler alert, I am super excited to play this game. It is incredible fun. I like the way that they have it designed and set up, especially the gameplay, and I think it's something that'll be worth you guys' time. But why don't I just give my first impression? So first thing that I want to say is I'm going to talk about some of the things that I don't like first. That way I have more times to yap about the things that I do like. So we'll get through that first. We'll talk about the things that we do like. And then, hey, we'll see what you guys think about my first impressions. So why don't we just get right into it? Okay, so Chaos Zero Nightmare so far been incredibly fun, but let's not waste you guys' time. Let's get right into it. First things first, that I think really needs to be adjusted is the translations and a little bit more understanding when it comes to the cards especially when you're in combat. So I'll go directly into the chaos here, this is kind of like your roguelite activity that you go in and you explore. You have more than one boss. So let's go ahead and enter in here, right? That way you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about here. So yeah, choose this card here. And they do have a little bit starting out that helps you understand what's going on within the gameplay. But I want you to kind of look at this, right? So this one is pretty simple. You heal, you gain action points, right? You see how it says the wave two, save one? I would like a better understanding of what that means. I would like a better understanding of what that means. So here it is right here. Action points preserve upon effect, reduce storage by one. If wave three, gain access points and reduce wave by three. So it does have that there to where you can see it. But what I want to show you in particular is hopefully I'll get some cards from her, right? So here we go. We got the shadow daggers, right? Now, do you see that right there where it says the 50% damage and then the two agony? So exhaust is explained if you kind of go look at the character kit, but I would love to see the explanation here. I would love to see the tooltips here that help us understand some of these basic things. Like, for example, agony itself. To agony, okay, I got that. So, what is agony? All right, well, I understand it as poison, and I got it now, but it doesn't really do that good of a job of kind of explaining those things here, or at least allowing us to look at the tooltips. Now, on PC, another thing that I noticed, it's very easy to kind of maneuver and look at the cards, but I will also like you click on a card and then it's gone, but there's not really like a pull up for the info button or like a click to just show the info button. I think I would like to where if you could click and then hover over the information, that way you can kind of understand what type of play that you're doing. That's going to be super helpful, especially when somebody is playing a character that they're not familiar with, because you're probably going to bring your characters on the roguelite run over and over again due to one of the things that I really, really like about the game. We'll talk about that one a little bit later. But yeah, just getting the translation a little bit better, helping us understand what all these different moves mean, and just making it more accessible to everybody, I think is gonna be super duper nice. So I think that they can do a lot as far as just explaining different things, right? The chaos manifestation, understanding what this means. I think once you play through it, you kind of understand it. But I did notice quite a few people, not only people who are streamers, but people just playing the game. They just like, dude, these kits are confusing. I don't really understand what the character actually does fully without playing it and then having to look at the screen. I feel like that the more information that you are able to provide, especially through tooltips and just accessibility in general, is going to make it so much more fun and something that people aren't just going to fall back away from because it's just like, dude, I don't understand anything. Forget this. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? So hopefully they start getting those things really corrected on, especially before release. So those were those. I also think that some of the materials that we probably could get more materials. Now, I do appreciate the fact that you can upgrade the materials, combatants. I see my partners. I see the fates. Like I can click on this information here and get kind of information about what's on me, but I don't really have any information about the enemies. So hopefully that's something that is there. Maybe I just have skill issue and I'm just not looking at it correctly, but it didn't seem like that it was something that was very easy for me to find to understand, okay, what is it that is on my enemies? What are the buffs that they have? What are the debuffs that they have? And then that way I can go in and just do things a little bit better. So that's just something else that I'm hoping. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna tackle that, right? Because they want the game to be accessible to everyone. They want people to enjoy it, right? So yeah, that's just something kind of maybe a little bit small that I'm really hoping. But well, not necessarily small. I guess it's kinda huge, at least to me, because it helps me prepare, but it's a card-based game, right? It's card-based and it's turn-based. So you want as much information, especially when you're going into the chaos and you're going against those higher levels. It's there's a lot that's going on, and having an understanding of that is gonna be really good. Now, I feel like that they do a good job of kind of letting you know when an enemy's gonna fall and you can at least see the initial debuff. So it is pretty solid, but I would definitely like to see a little bit more on that. All right, so this is about to end, and that way I can kind of show you the run here in just a little bit. All right, so they're eliminated, so we're good there. All right, so as you saw, I got 23 of these, right? Let's hit confirm. So that's 60 of my stamina. That's about a fourth of my stamina. So let's go over to Miss Renoa here. And let's go to promotion. And then we go there. And let's do a merge. So basically it takes 3. So in that run, what was it? That was like 20 that I got, 18. So I got 6 of them in that run, basically right there. I still just feel like that we could get a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe that's me asking for too much, but I feel like that we could get a little bit more in there. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that we could get a little bit more of the materials per stamina use. Um, then that way we can at least make sure that we have all our people leveled up pretty nicely. So that's just probably more or less a little bit of a minor thing for me. Maybe it is fine. I don't know. You all tell me what you think of that one. I do feel like that I could get a little bit more, maybe almost like 2 per stamina around 2 or 3, maybe 3-ish, enough to have 3, 2 or 3 per stamina round. Is that okay? Y'all think so? I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think about that one. So I think that there could be a little bit improvement of making sure that we are able to have easy access to materials. Because one of the things that I think about, right, is at least as of right now, I don't see a whole lot of this that we're getting. Like you do get the extra 80 stamina per day from the basically the Arc City. So you do have that. Um, but I'm thinking about when we first start the game, we're gonna want to have our characters built out as quickly as possible. Now, if you're building out 3 or 4 characters starting out and getting them leveled up to form your team, we're gonna have enough stamina. So I just want to see a little bit more um of how that's going to kind of go forward to make sure that we have a decent amount of stamina to go ahead and take care of our characters early on. And then what's going to be kind of like what we're doing going forward, right? I'm pretty sure we're going to get into a grind where we're incrementally leveling up some of the characters little by little. So that's just a thought that I thought about that. Maybe you all think the same. Just let me know down in the comments. Okay. The other thing is I would like to continue to see an improvement in the story itself. Um, to me, when I first played the game and when we went through the very first tutorial area, I was like, wow, this is like really impactful. But then it's like, okay, they can kind of come back, right? So like I don't know. I don't have a feeling of the impact after that. Like I felt that first bit of horror, but I didn't really feel that afterwards going forward. Like I felt like it was a little bit cheapened because it seemed like everybody could just come right on back, like there was no issues. Not until we got until the last end of chapter 3, where we saw kind of the impact of what happened in the story then, trying to say that without any spoilers, of course. But once that came about, then I was like, okay, maybe there is some impact, but maybe I missed something. I don't know. It didn't really make the impact or land as hard as when I first started playing the game versus once we started getting toward the end of the chapter and end of chapter 2. I just don't really see the impact of them basically going into their chaos states. Like I don't feel that impact just yet. So maybe there's something that I was missing with it, but from a story standpoint, I think that they have such good potential to really draw up a flat out amazing story. And I think they've done a decent job so far. But I think that that can really be expounded upon to help us to understand and feel the impact of what's going on in the world. And also just kind of helping us understand, like, just me playing it and looking at the story, I'm like, okay, so there's something about time. It seems like we're on a ship and then we're flying around and then we're going down to these different planets, but we're not physically going down to the planets. We're more or less like, or we're physically going down to the planets, but if we get yoinked or deleted, as long as somebody grabs our core, we're good to go, kind of ish. I, yeah, I just to me, it's a little bit difficult to understand, but I think that they can really do some things to make that feel way, way better. Okay, so just looking down at the notes I have, I talked about translation. I talked about how difficult it was to understand some of the kits. I talked about the materials and the stories. So the last thing I wanted to mention before we get into the things that I really do enjoy about the game is the summons. I feel like that there was just way too few summons in the game, and for me, I'm looking at, like, the login and the maintenance rewards that we basically got, like, we got a crap ton of pulls just from, what they gave us through the playtest, right? But I'm like, "Man, can I get this to drop in the game when I do, like, the missions and stuff?" If I look at the story missions, and let's say we're getting 30 of these, so it's 160, I believe, per pool, if I am correct. Let me go here. Why don't we do a couple pools and verify? That way y'all can also see some of the animations with what's going on there. There you go. So we'll just show this to you guys real quick. Animation is really nice. Let me turn it up just a tad for you guys. There we go. All right, we'll do another one. Man, I've been playing for an hour. I know. Let me play. I do like the little warnings pop ups though. All right, so yeah, y'all can see really nice, really good looking animations here. All right, so we'll just skip that one. What if I pull somebody here? Oh, there we go. So it's 160 crystals, right? 160 crystals, right? We'll show the animation here one more time. I really like the way the animation looks, and it's so cool. It is so cool. And see, look, I'm supposed to be talking about the stuff I don't like, and I'm just already like, oh, I like this so much. So 160 per pull, right? But if you go in and look at the story bits, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 times 30, that's 330, right? That's barely enough for a pool going through the chapters. Or here in chapter 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11 with the epilogue. So it's probably about 11. So just going through the chapters and we get maybe enough to do 9 pools. I think we could definitely get some more there. And even like the battle missions, now you do get a little bit more with the battle missions. So this is 6 of these, 45 per. Yeah, that's still only a couple of pulls, right? So I'm definitely hoping that we see a little bit better path to those pools because the fact that they gave us that many to me w- just feels wrong. Like I don't feel like we're gonna get that much starting out. Now they'll probably surprise us and make sure that we have plenty to pool so that we can actually play with the characters, right? But I think a lot of people want to play with a bunch of the characters. And I think with them getting the translations right and also putting in a little bit more to help us understand that we pretty much can use all the characters um, on the game. Now, of course, we're going to understand all that information right off the bat because we've gotten in, we've played the game. But what about the person that just opens up the game to just play? Are they going to be able to understand that, hey, even the 4 stars are super important in the game? Don't just get rid of them. Don't just push for the 5 stars? Maybe not, probably not necessarily. So, just making it a little bit easier for the day-to-day person. Sorry about that, y'all. I just had to I probably cut that out, basically. I had to cut that little portion out because I was, like, off of this stuff from talking so much. But would definitely like to see a little bit of improvement on that to just help us understand a little bit better. I think also too, possibly there could be a little bit of a rework there with the gotcha system, right? Make it to where maybe it's guaranteed to find out to fool somebody at a certain point, especially when the banners come out, or maybe even lowering the cost of getting the 5 stars so that we have more access to them. So a person that's free to play has more access to it. Somebody that wants to whale out, they can just whale out and feel like that their money is valued. Lowering the cost of it, I don't know. It just to me, it didn't feel with this being a gotcha, it didn't feel like that there was enough encouraging me to pull on the different characters besides the fact that we got all those summons directly from the playtest itself. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes further, but getting all those summons made me definitely a little bit worried. 'Cause I'm just like, okay, well, how is this gonna actually be when the game drops? And are players going to be able to make good decisions on their accounts when if they only have a limited pool of characters and they need multiple copies of characters or multiple different characters to push in the game to clear things a little bit easier, is it really going to encourage them to use those other characters, or are they going to want to save up and say, oh, you know what, I'm going to save up for specific characters so that I can have a better, well-rounded team maybe later on down the line instead of investing in everything that I get because I just don't have a whole lot. Might turn some people off. So I don't know. I want to see some improvements with that. So those are the things that I didn't necessarily like that I can remember right off the top of my head. I know there's plenty of other things that continue to need improvements with the game, and they're going to make those improvements. But now let's talk about the stuff that I really, 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 really like about the game. Number 1, the gameplay is so good in the game, man. I just dude, it's fun. It's fun as crap to just go in and play the game. Like, seriously, it is super duper fun. Now, one of the things that I really enjoy about the combat system and the way that they have things set up. So here, of course, you're looking at the team formation, right? So if I click on my character and view the details on the character, you notice this little terabyte drive here? This is save data. Now you can hit the change button, right? So you see how the cards that I played, they're out there, right? But I can also switch over to another set and then even another set. Now, of course, this has like your basic ones, but you're actually able to switch over to a different set within the battle. So whichever one that maybe is your favorite deck. So let's say like for me, this one, right? I didn't get all the equipment, but I really like this deck there, right? And then for this one, okay, so that's my favorite there. And then this is my second favorite. I can equip this, and this will be kind of how my cards are played out, or at least the cards that I get starting out. this to me is super duper cool. Same thing with her, right? So you see what I have here? You have the essence of water and other stuff. So this is one of the playthroughs that I have. And I also have this one here where I have like both of those. You see what I'm saying? Like there's so many different little small things that you get. Even the cards that you get when you make your runs through the chaos, which is basically how you build the save data, you can choose to save something specific to a certain person. This to me is just really, really cool overall. So let's say like I want to grab this one, right? Because this one has the most data and it has the duplicate cards that I want. So I have two of the action point recovery. So what am I doing here? Well, I'm playing into the play style of I want to gain as many action points as possible so that it works in tandem with the type of characters that I have. So this is one of the ones that I very much like that I kind of did early on. So this is more or less like my little poison deck that I have here. But as you see, like there's just these different cards that we have. And this is according to the cards that I played. So I'm able to kind of play that out, right? But maybe I want to improve on this particular deck later on down the line. So I can go in and I can make the run and I can play the cards that I want to have in my deck and I can tailor that however I want to tailor it. I think that this just adds such a depth to the game itself. That it's just really, really fun. It's really, really fun. I feel like that they've absolutely nailed putting themselves in this genre and having something that feels unique. At least again, this is for me. Now I know other people they've played some other games like Morrowind, Slay the Spire, Reverse 1999, and other card games that I just really haven't played. So my background is Reverse 1999. That's one of the biggest ones that I've played, and also Morrowind, which I just recently started playing. Both flat out amazing games. I feel like that this here is different from both of those because of the fact that you're able to save a hand and save a set. Save basically the cards, and of course, these cards all draw from your deck. To me, it's really, really cool and unique. It's just really, really cool and unique. So you see, this is kind of like what I've been dealt here. So I'm gonna create the shadow daggers first off, and then we're gonna throw some of that out there, get some poisons out there. I don't want to shield up, but instead I want to create the dirge bullet there. So bam, now I have another dirge bullet. Bam, one enemy's out of there already. Now, another thing that I can do here too, right, is I can improve the damage that she does by like 20%. So I can put a card out there, right? Bam, now she hits for 427. We'll switch up. We'll show just a little bit more to you all about how like I'm just straight up impressed with this. It just seems like such a fun gameplay loop. Now, again, with what I'm doing here, and I'll show this to you. This is basically the rogue light activity. This is probably where you will spend majority of your time. Well, why are you spending your time in here? Well, because you're building out those decks. You're trying to get the perfect run so that you can go in and face the tougher challenges later on down the line. As you can see here, I got all the things here. I'm just gonna smack them up there real quick. Smack them up. Okay, we'll switch over. We'll switch over to the next one. And then bam, you see how I basically got attacked there. So up here in the top, you see this little bar section that's up there. So this is the stress levels. Once the stress levels reach a really high mark, then you basically will go into a crazed state. So this probably won't be as easy to to show here. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of like keep playing as we go through the chaos, and hopefully I'll be able to get to like a boss itself to demonstrate that a little bit more. This here with the epiphany, which is like, okay, now you're able to select a specific card that you may want to pull out, and then bam, now I'm doing like big damage right there, easily taking out the enemy. So I just to me, that's just such a cool, unique feature in the game to where you're just able to feel like you're in control. So you see here, I got another epiphany right there, right? So what am I gonna use there? Well, Deluge is the one that I chose from a previous saved hand because at the wave of one, at the start of the turn, game wave one. So I'm basically giving myself an additional wave there. Again, just I would love to see the explanation a little bit better. Now, this one here, right? So now she's getting another epiphany. So now I have a choice of either one that I want to choose. I want to choose the attack cards apply agony. Why? Because I want the poisons to continue to stack up. So bam, I dropped that card there and watch this. Bam. There we go. You see the agony that stacks up there, which is the poison. And then also to my base card, it puts on agony. And this one putting on two more there. Did it do his thing already? Did I do it? But yeah, so you see all the stacks of agony and stuff that I have there. So really, really fun. Really, really cool gameplay loop there. And then bam, again, let's do the wave two, save one. I said just I definitely want a better understanding. But you saw how the waves went up over here underneath my character, up here at the top, the one in the middle. My cursor is kind of small, so it'd be a little hard to see. But now she got the two waves, which increase my action points, which is super duper nice. So then now, bam, I can just go in and attack a little bit more. But yeah, to me, this gameplay loop is a ton of fun overall. And I think it's something that so many people will actually enjoy. Okay, so here we are. I think that now I will finally be able to show you the epiphany finally. Or I'm sorry, the chaos portion. So I'll just get hit here and hopefully it rolls off on her. There it is. All right, so this is when they basically are mentally broken. And as you see on the end, you have this card here. So I need to get, you see the 0 out of 6. I need to get 6 of these cards to remove her from the mental breakdown. Then it'll reduce her stress down, I think about like 80%. And then she's also able to like pop off her ultimate there. So let's see what we can do here. So my main objective at this point is I want to get rid of as many cards as possible because I want more chances of receiving her card so that she can get out of the mental state that she's in. You can see how that my health is cut in a third, which that's basically what it is. Everybody shares the health pool and everything, but it's all cut into a third. Bam, you see there? You see kind of like the RNG that it has there. Like it's not guaranteed for me to get those cards to come out. And so yeah. Now of course I got everything back. So we're just gonna have to keep playing and hopefully we'll be able to pull her out of the state. Now she doesn't instantly come out of the state even when you move on to the next stage. I love the fact that that is a thing. I love the fact that that is a thing. So you still do have to keep going forward. You can see I have a second person who's about to go a little bit cray cray. A little bit cray cray. So for this one, I'm like, hey, let me go ahead and get this dude taken out. You see his turn count up there, so I don't want him to attack me. I want him to go down before we get there. All right, now let's go into the next battle. Keep going. I'm just also happy that I get a chance to kind of like show the gameplay off to you all a little bit here. Very, very fun. Very, very fun. Very crazy looking stuff. These dudes. They're just kind of crazy. Kind of crazy, man. Look at the dudes there. That was the meal. It is kind of it's kind of weird when you get to see the monsters because they're just like meat, and it's just like okay, but it's cool that they allow you to understand what they're saying and understand everything that's going on. I think that that's really really cool, and every little area has a very nice theme to it. I think they did a very very good job here. All right, so let me see what I get starting out. So I got one of those cards there. Let's go ahead and do that there. When a card is created, grant random epiphany at start of all turn. I'll give the enemies pain because, why not? Why not? Why not give them pain? All right, so it looks like I got enough, I think, to get stuff there. Let's keep going. It should be okay, but I am super close to having a second person. All right, so here we go. All right, as you can see, they basically get their resolve. You see the minus 35, the minus 10 on her, and even the minus on her. So when you break out of the mental state, now you also see how my ability is up here. So this is kind of like the big ultimate ability. And so now she comes, she breaks out of the mental breakdown, and she is stronger than she's ever been before. Now, if she goes back into mental breakdown again, instead of 6, I believe it goes up to 7 and just goes up every single time that they're in a mental breakdown state. So I'm still learning a lot of that to see where that goes, but I just think that that is such a very, very, very cool mechanic. The other thing about it is the fact that you get to save like all those cards, which we talked a little bit about earlier. I just think it's so cool. I just think it's so much fun to play. It's very fun. I feel like that you're gonna continue to want to go in and play more and more because of the way that they have the system worked out. So very, very nice. All right, so now that I've showed you that, I'll just leave out of the chaos so we can talk a few more points. Don't want the video to be too long. Still gonna definitely be over 30 minutes, but bam, as you saw, I still got a card out of that. All right. The agents have suffered and need to recover intact save data can be stored and converted. And this is kind of where you go here, right? To where you save them. So you can do the counseling, but if you do the delete memories, the combatant's frail data is also exhausted. So that frail data is like that little um, thing that you had, but I think there's a way in which you can restore it again later on down the line. But bam, you talk to them. In this particular case, I'm doing the memory wipe because I don't have enough of the other things. I hope that there's a way to get more of those as you go through in a day. If not, then I kind of understand that's part of the gameplay, right? Is if they leave from here and they have suffering or they go into they go into this state here. If they go in this particular state, then yeah, you're gonna need to basically take care of them. So I really like that because it makes the center important, right? And then you can pick and choose whose memories that you're gonna wipe or who's saved data that you're gonna keep so that you can use it further down. So I think it's super duper nice. It brings great replayability into the game. Very, very nice. The interface so far is pretty darn simple and really nice. You kind of have like your your daily schedule. You have this portion, like you got so much that's going on in here that is just super duper nice. Um, Very easy to get to your combatants and look them all over and start upgrading them. To me, the interface is pretty fine, pretty fine. I think that it's simplistic enough. It's pretty. You get to see like the character there. You get to switch this out. You get to, I think you even get to eventually like switch out the background and some other stuff. So to me, all this is super duper nice. But I feel like that the gameplay loop makes you want to bring in all of your combatants to get them prepared for whatever. So when you want to go to that next more difficult stage, you're able to bring in your combatants and do as much as possible and set them up for success basically. So I feel like they basically hand you the keys to the kingdom with the way that the combat is with those save files. Um, it just feels really unique. Each of the characters feel like that they have their spot, and to me, it's great. The animations look great. Um, yeah, it is a ton of fun. And this is the Arc City here, where you kind of have like your daily things that you can do. You can basically take any of the characters out for an event, for a date, I guess, whatever the case may be. But it's super duper nice and it's beneficial. So you want to do these things. You have like the dinner, you got the cafe. This is you. want to come to the cafe and order, pretty much on a regular basis. Um, because once you place those orders, the caffeine is basically where you get you either can save a little thing every day, which I think is going to be really important going forward. Um, you can save the energy and get 60, or you can just get 80 every single day. So I think that going forward, that's going to be kind of what plays into the gameplay loop, and maybe some of the things once we are able to have a longer time period of the game, maybe that stamina stuff won't feel as difficult. But hopefully, at least we get a ton of stamina. We get a decent amount of pools and many things at the very beginning because the game is super duper fun to play. I don't think you need to go into the chaos with stamina, which is super duper nice. So you can just infinitely go into the chaos and continue to explore in the roguelike activity, do as much as you want, get that exploration level up, find and fight every single monster, and get all the rewards out of this. Well, I guess you do have the loot certification. So hopefully they give us a decent amount of these, but I know you can still go in and do more. You can still go in and do more. So understanding this a little bit better, I think is going to be super nice. But when I tell you that the gameplay loop is incredibly fun with this, I just want to go in and play with the characters over and over and over again. So, man, I think that kind of covers everything that I really like about the game. Another little small thing that I really like is with the partners, right? Let's say I wanted to change this. So let me upgrade this one here and manifest. So I'm gonna do two of these, right? So you see how that's level 3. If I go back out and I take one of these and I hit the upgrade button and I hit manifest, and if I find at level 3, hopefully that's in there. At least I know I did that before. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Yep. You notice how it goes up to level 4? That's incredible. So it's not wasted. You know what I mean? Like if you accidentally yoink into it, it doesn't just delete the levels or the manifestations in there. I think that that is just flat out amazing. Like I really, really appreciate that they put that little small touch in here to make sure that you're good to go. So you can upgrade them all the way and they not be get the full passive. That to me is just super duper nice. Super duper nice, man. I think it's super good. I'm very happy to see that in the game. Very happy to see that in the game. So that was another one of the little small things that I like. Besides the visuals, I think the game looks great. I still think that there is some polish that can be added to it to continue to make the game look good, to continue to make the animations look good. It runs really well. I haven't had too many problems with it closing out, maybe one or two times. But again, that's part of what a playtest is, right? Is to get in and see a bunch of those different things. So thank y'all so much for spending the time to watch this video. I know it's definitely a long video, but overall, I am super duper impressed about the game with everything that they're bringing forward. I do think that they really do have to work on a couple of things to continue to bring that polish into the game to make us feel valued, to make us feel like that they are really caring about us as the player. I think that they have some things to touch up there to really bridge that gap. And when you make those type of strides, I just feel like it's just going to be so beneficial for the game going forward, helping it grow and helping us not only have a good product, but also help us promote this so that we'll tell all our friends like, hey, come in and play this really great product. Not only do they care about us, but they're generous. They of course they understand that they're here to make money, right? But they still want to make sure that even if you're free to play versus a whale, everybody's considered. Um, and it's something that's fun to play. It's something that you can get in. You can upgrade your characters. You don't feel like you're being super limited or time gated, especially at the very beginning. Now, later on, I can understand that a little bit because at that point, you're kind of expected to start doing maintenance on your account, save up your resources, and be prepared for patch updates and others. Be prepared for when they have like the the multiple runs and all that stuff. So you're gonna need to be prepared for that stuff. But overall, I think it's absolutely incredible, super fun, something that is absolutely worth your time. And hopefully, this Yap Fest encourages you to give it a try when the game releases. So, thank you again so much for taking the time to listen, to let me get my thoughts out there. Again, it was kind of like not super scripted by any means. I just kind of want to get my thoughts out there, let you know that they are my genuine thoughts and my genuine impressions about the game and that I really like it. And I hope you all like it too. So if y'all have any thoughts, please leave them down in the comments. And thank y'all again so much for being here. And we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.